Okay, so welcome to week 2 training. Tonight we're going to talk about the 4 cornerstones of the industry. This is like gold. Wait till you hear this. I'm so excited to share this video with you guys tonight. It's so good. Literally, when I was listening to it, I was doing this while he was talking because I was like, this is so great. So I can't wait for you guys to hear it. One thing I do want to, even though there's just a few of us on here, I want to make a habit of doing this with every one of these trainings. And I thought we could start every training with celebrations. And all last year or the year before last, I belong to a little mastermind group. And if you don't know what a mastermind group is, it's just a group of ladies that get on a Zoom call once a week, just like this, but they're from all different industries. So like it wouldn't be anybody else with Color Street, or not even necessarily, some of them aren't even in direct sales. But we mastermind, meaning we just kind of talk about whatever we read about that week or whatever lesson we learned that week. And the idea is that 10 minds are better than one mind. So if you can learn what all of those 10 people learned in that 1 week during a 1-hour Zoom call, therefore you've funneled more information into your brain. Anyhow, the reason I tell you that is something I think is really cool is they start every single one of those calls with celebrations, and everybody on the call takes turns saying what happened right in their business for that whole week. So whether they made a sell, they made a recruit, maybe they just read a really cool book that they've been meaning to read. Like, it can be small and it can be large, but everybody shares something positive that happened in their business that week. And it's just a great way to start off the call. So I kind of want to start a habit of us doing that as well. So anybody want to start? Anybody want to share a celebration that they had in their business this week?
I will. Is my audio on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't lighting up that it was on, so I wasn't sure if it was or not. First, I want to say I put on What I Want Scandy. Look have you guys seen? All day today, I have been catching myself staring at my nails, and I posted 3 times in my VIP, and the last time I said I apologize, but I was at a stoplight, and the way the sun was hitting it.
It is amazing. I haven't worn it, but Sophia put it on, and I kept grabbing it. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like amazing. I know.
So beautiful. So I got a recruit this week, which I was super, super excited about. I know. So excited. And I know she's going to be so awesome. We just got to get through this little holiday, she's a little discouraged right now. She's like, wait, I've been signed up for a week and nothing's happened. I'm like, it's okay. I think but I'm so excited. And she just came out of nowhere with signing up. And
you know what? And that's what I love about this. I have found when I dedicate myself to trainings and really, thoughts become things. And it's like when we start watering an idea, it just starts happening. And so that's so cool that happened to you. Like, you made that decision that you were going to go for it, and then boom, this girl shows up. Yeah.
And I did not hesitate last week with my conversations I have been doing in the past, because we met on last Wednesday and she signed up Friday, and I had literally just kind of put it in her ear Wednesday, and I just kept with it and talking with her and guiding her and showing her how it can what we talked about, and I think it really was beneficial for me. So it was good. Yeah, it was
That's awesome. An amazing celebration. I love it. Okay. Mary Kay, do you want to share something?
Oh, God, I'm trying to think of what happened within the last week. I don't know. I'll be honest.
It can literally be anything. We could legit celebrate your shot, because that's your health. That's your that's exciting. So when we do these every week, it doesn't necessarily have to be business. It can literally be anything positive in your life, anything.
Mine, I think, honestly, is just from last week. Is my whole mindset. Nicole, I signed up under Nicole, kind of like this girl with you. you think she's going to be so great, and she like jump right in. You don't have to work on her. Like I was literally in Boardman, and someone complimented my nails, and I was like messaging Nicole saying, how do I sign up? I gotta sign up. Are you gonna sign me up? Because I need, I think I sent you like 4 messages before I heard back, because I was like a royal pain in the butt. And like, because I was like, I need to do this now because everybody was noticing my nails. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing this for over 2.5 years now. And I am frustrated that I'm like, still have not like ranked up. So I'm excited about these trainings because I'm hoping, like I have signed on, Nicole, you know, I've signed on a lot of people, and some of them have signed on people under them, but yeah, they just like go flat, you know. So like I've been frustrated, like, and I've had the thought, like, am I like supposed to still be doing this? Like I've never not BQ'd from when I started. I've been consistently in the comma club, you know. So I'm like, I'm doing something right, but I'm missing a piece of the puzzle there when it comes to recruiting the right people, I guess, because I have recruited several, but I haven't gotten them to take off like I did when I contacted you, you know.
You know what, and just so to make you feel better, I mean, probably since I've started in this 3 years, I've probably recruited 30 people, maybe more. There's like 11 of you here.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
and I've talked about that before, so.
Yeah, and so it's like, you know, it's a numbers game, but I think you're really gonna love tonight because he talked about how to talk to people to make sure you're getting those right people, those 10s, those people that are going to be go-getters like us. So
and that's my positive, I guess, is that I'm here on Christmas Eve when I have a million things to do, but I'm like, listen, I can just do this. So, so here I am.
And that's just it. And I really honestly believe you will reap the benefits of that because you showed up tonight. I love it. Carly, are you able to talk with us, or are you, I know that your video's off. Sometimes that means you're multitasking. I don't hear her.
Yeah, I'm kind of multitasking. I don't really have, I don't know.
Okay.
Trying my best to, like, I work my full-time job, and I've actually had a couple of people like comment on my nails, so I've been giving out like samples and stuff, but I don't know. That's why I'm here, to try to learn more about recruiting people.
Love it. And Carly, thank you so much for being here. I know you're multitasking, so that means that's extra special that you're here. So you're still making time for us on Christmas Eve of all night. So thank you. All right. So without further ado then, ladies, I'm just going to let Richard Bliss Brooks take it away. That way we can get back to our Christmas Eve festivities. So I'm going to share my screen. Get your notebooks out. You guys are going to love this. Oh my God. I'm like,
excitement is getting me all excited.
Hold on. I got to put the volume up.
So what we're going to deep dive in on now is how does building wealth in network marketing really work? Once you have a product you believe in, once you believe in it enough that you've got some stories, once you have the stories, I mean, unless you're just like live in a box somewhere out in the middle of a field, somewhere in a foreign country, in the middle of a desert where nobody comes but every 10 years, if you have stories in your body, you're going to tell people about these products, right? So the difference between you as an ambassador of the products and somebody who earns $5,000 to $10,000 a month in pure residual wealth building income is you actually have to learn to be excellent at having the same kind of stories about the income opportunity. And not just that people are doing it, but how does it actually work? You're going to have to get excellent at that. There are 4 pieces to the puzzle: the people, product sales, asset income, asset value. 4 pieces to the puzzle. We're going to go through them. First is the people. You'll notice as I'm explaining to you this, that if I take a half hour to explain these 4 cornerstones of the 4-year career, I might spend 20 minutes on the people. I might spend 10 minutes on the other 3. The people are the hardest part for the prospect to understand. And I'm not suggesting that you explain this to prospects. I'm suggesting you own it. Because unless you are recruiting 2 or 3 people a month as business builders into your business, I see you as a prospect. Just because you signed up as a distributor doesn't make you any different than a customer. And when it comes to building a network marketing organization, doesn't make you any different than a prospect. Unless you understand and believe in the wealth building aspect of network marketing, you're a prospect. So you could be, when you're doing your events, you could be talking to 100 people who are already distributors. Some of them are even ranked distributors. And when it comes to building wealth in the income opportunity, you want to see them like a prospect. How do you know if they're a prospect or they own the concept? If you own the concept, you're recruiting. If you're not recruiting, if you're talking about it, if you're trying to do it, and I'll prove this to you, will be my intention today. If you're working on it, if you're learning what you need to learn before you get started, you're a non-believer and you're a prospect. The people. This is a pivotal question on which the 4-year career is built. So I'm going to revert back to the 3 things that I said define doing the business. One is using the product. One is recommending people to use the product. And the third is inviting people, and I need you to track with me here, inviting people to just take a look. Do people have to change their lives to take a look? Do they have to pay you to take a look? Do they have to get on an auto ship that's going to cost them what most people spend on a car every month to take a look? No. They don't have to do anything that's weird or uncomfortable to take a look. Asking people to take a look is easy. 3 basic things. So here's the question that you need to be able to answer. I want you to just see yourself as though you were a prospect. This is your opportunity meeting. Yeah, you love the product, but you're not in the network yet. You're not in network marketing yet. You're thinking about getting involved in this thing called network marketing and building some kind of residual asset income in network marketing. You're thinking about it. You're a prospect. And here's my question to you. This is a foundational, pivotal question that defines whether or not you and the people that you will involve as a team, you can build an empire. And the question is, number 1, can you, and for the money, would you do it? And let me redefine doing it. For the money you want, let's say it's $5,000 a month. Can you use the product, recommend it to other people, and invite people to take a look? Can you? It would be good for you to write that question and the answer down on your piece of paper. First question is, can you do it? And the second question is, for the money, even though it's delayed, even though it may not come for 3 or 4 years, would you do it? Use the products, recommend the products, and invite people. Can you? Which speaks to your ability as a human being. Can you do it? Second question is, would you do it? So the third question is, if the answer is yes, I can, and the answer is yes, I would. Now I want you to think about this. Could you, first question, could you eventually, might take 3 or 4 months, might take 3 or 4 days, might take 3 or 4 weeks, but if you really wanted to, could you get 4 other people to do it? So what I want you to just sort of sit with is that module. There is a module of vision, intentionality, capability and confidence that exists around the module of, if you really wanted to, could you and would you use the products, recommend the products, and invite people to the extent that you got 4 other people to do it. So what I want you to do is just take like 10 or 15 seconds and just sort of sit with that vision. And on a scale of 1 to 10, right on your paper, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you had to bet, let's say I bet you, I'll personally bet you, if you had to bet how many people, whether or not you could get those 4 people in 4 months to do this, not just be customers, but to be evangelists for the income opportunity. If you had to bet $500, no, let's make it 1,000. If you had to bet me $1,000 on whether or not by the 4th month, you would have 4 personally sponsored, active people using, recommending, and promoting the income opportunity, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your confidence you would win the bet? Put it on your paper. So next question, if you got 4 people to do this, and we were having another event 4 months from now, what's the likelihood your 4 people, if they're relatively local, would be in the audience? They're going to be in the audience, right? If they're doing it, they're going to be here. So if they're here, what I want you to project is, if I asked them the same question, what do you think their answer would be? The inevitability of building an empire exists. Whether you use the module of 2, 3, 5, 7, 2.6, doesn't matter. I just use 4. Exists in the module of, if you really wanted to, if anybody really wanted to, if it was worth it to them, could they get 4 people, and would they get 4 people? And if you can get clarity about the answer to that question is yes, then you can learn to not only believe in the people part of the business model, in the a lot of people doing a little bit each, in the 10,000 doing $100 a month. You can learn to believe in that, because the astute prospect and skeptic, when I'm showing them the slide of, well, how we do it in network marketing is we just get 10,000 people doing $100 a month. The astute prospect will ask, well, how do you get the 10,000 people? And this is how you get them. And if you don't understand this at its basic, simplistic level, what your mind will do and your prospect's mind will do is they will revert to just getting, they'll just get chaotic. They'll get confused. You show them something like this, well, it's, 4 who get 4 who get 4 who get 4, and they'll go, well, there's not, there's no way, that's 340 people. There's only 83 people. Who did I just meet today? She's a hero. There were 78 people when I interviewed her for a hero call, and now there's 83 people in her town. I mean, there's a lot of people that live in small towns, and if you show them a business plan that says, hey, you could have hundreds or thousands of people in your business, when they don't listen through the filter of network marketing, when they listen through traditional filters, what they hear and say to themselves are things like, well, if there was that many people, my town would be saturated, or I don't know that many people. I can't talk to that many people. It sounds simplistic to us, but what I'm telling you is the most foundational thing that confuses people and has them check out about what we do in the wealth building part is compounding. If they understood it, they would be debt-free, and the cash that they would be building up, they would be loaning to people in their community. So the only people who really at the core understand compounding in your community are the people who make hard real estate loans. You know those people? Yeah, like if you have bad credit and you want to buy a house or something, if you put enough down, they'll loan you the money at 10 or 12% instead of the bank or the mortgage company because your credit score won't get you there. Find those people in your community, they understand compounding. What percentage of your community do you think are those people? 1 out of 1,000. What's going on with the other 999? They're in debt. Do they understand compounding? They understand it intellectually, but they don't understand it in their body such that they feel they can do something about it. Teaching people the concept of would you and could you get 4? And if they were in the room, could they each get 4? Starts to have them understand, how do I go from 4 to 20? You see that? So when each of your 4 are sitting in the room, and I ask them, hey, would you and could you go get 4 in the next 4 months? And they have a high degree of confidence that they could, then 4 months from now, you have 20 people on your team. 16 second level, 4 first level. Now, if you got 4 your first 4 months, do you think maybe you could get 4 your second 4 months if you wanted to? Of course you could. Now you're setting in motion a whole second tier of geometric progressions, a whole second, if you will, second organization off these 4. You can keep doing that your entire career, build entire teams, but only when you focus on mastering, being excellent at understanding and embodying the business model and teaching it to other people. Because without understanding it, a lot of people, not everybody, some people will just blindly do it. A lot of people, they'll get hung up on it because they don't understand how it's going to happen. The sales, the second cornerstone of the 4-year career, is the simplest cornerstone. So just think about the people that we're involving in the business. And here's a key distinction of the 4-year career. In order for you, write this number on your paper, in order for you to, in the next 4 months, get 4 people who are doing it, how many do you think you'll have to actually enroll? It could be somewhere between 10, 12, 15, 20 people. In order to get 4 to do it, when you come from these distinctions that I'm teaching you, when you come from having mastery of the 4-year career, your ratios will go through the roof. Your ratios of people that you sponsor that get the income opportunity and engage in it confidently go through the roof. Because they're no longer just relying on, you told them so. They're not relying on some story. There's some meat to the story. They're understanding what's under the engine hatch. How does this thing actually work? Your ratios will go through the roof. But the point is, if you have 4 people doing it 4 months from now, you have some people that you enrolled in the business who are kind of doing it. The point of this is, when we get to the sales part of this business model, what you will want to understand when you have mastery of the 4-year career is when we're talking about the sales numbers, we're only talking about the people who are actually doing it. We're only talking about the people who are using the product as an evangelist. They're recommending the product and they're inviting people to take a look at the income opportunity. We're not talking about retail customers. We're not talking about distributors who got in. We're all a big flame and flurry of enthusiasm and promises. And then 3 weeks later, all they are is a customer. We're not talking about the person who shows up to the meeting every 3 months with a new story about, you know what, this time I'm gonna, boy, did I have a, you know what, I wish you would have said that at the last meeting. You know, how come you didn't say that at the last meeting I was at, Carla? You know, if you'd have said that at the last meeting I was at, I'd have done this. But now I just had an epiphany. I had a breakthrough, a hallelujah. I'm going to tear this thing up. and then you don't see them for 3 months, and then they come back 3 months later, and they sit through the event, and after the event, they come up, they give you a great big hug, and then, thank you for sharing that. Like, I am now going to go build an empire. I'm not talking about those people. They produce volume. They even recruit people every once in a while. But when I'm talking about the sales component, I'm only talking about the 4 people in the model that are doing it. So the question is, these kinds of people, evangelists for the product, people that love the product, they're using the product, they're building a war chest of stories, they're recommending the product to other people, which means they're creating customers, right? And they're recruiting people because they're one of the 4 that are doing the wealth building 4-year career. How much product will each of those 4 people be responsible for a month, do you think? Write the number down in your company on your paper. Write that number down. These kind of people, the 4 who are doing it, they're using, they're recommending, they're inviting. They're one of your core leaders. What's their monthly personal sales? All the product they use, all of their customers' sales. Even if their customers order direct, wrap it around that one distributor. What's their monthly sales volume? Write it in your paper. Got the number? Third cornerstone is, how do we get paid? Well, every compensation plan in every company is different, and it does depend on whether the volume is close to you generationally, or 7 or 8 or 10 generations below you. But on average, what I found is most plans pay somewhere between 5 and 10% on your sales. And that may also be a bonus value system. So your sales may be 100,000 wholesale, and maybe if you add up what you actually get paid on, the number, the arbitrary number is 80,000. So it's 5 to 10% of the 80,000, whatever those sales are. And so what do you need to understand about the third cornerstone in the 4-year career? Just that, nothing else. And so maybe you can figure out in your particular plan, what's the average payout on the first 7 generations of volume. It doesn't matter what the percentage is. What matters is what's the sales volume and the percentage and the attrition and the growth. Asset value. The 4-year career is not about how much money you make. It is about the asset that you're building in network marketing. So would you agree that $5,000 a month is a pretty decent income in network marketing for most people? I'm not going to talk about superstars, but for most people. $5,000 a month is, if you're making $5,000 a month, you do have it figured out, right? If you're making $5,000 a month, you got a team, right? Where else in the world can you make $5,000 a month? A million places, right? That's not an exceptional opportunity, $5,000 a month. You can do all kinds of jobs which people are comfortable doing. Like, they get the job thing. They'd actually, a lot of times, rather do a job. Just tell me when to show up, tell me what to wear, tell me what to say, when to ring the bell, just tell me what to do. They'd rather do that. Even $10,000 a month. How many things can you do for a living and make $10,000 a month? Lots. $20,000 a month. Lots. I got a buddy that sells cars. Makes $20,000, $25,000 a month selling cars. And has every year for 10 years. You can make a lot of money doing all kinds of stuff. How many things can you invest $1,000 in and work on a part-time basis for 4 or 5 years and end up with a net worth of a couple of $1 million? where you can actually walk away from it. See, my buddy selling cars, he can't walk away. He can't say, you know what I'm going to do is go to Europe for the next 3 months. And I want you to send my checks to Zurich. How long will he even be a car salesman at that dealership? Not even a week. You can't do it in real estate. You can't do it in anything. If you don't show up, linear income, you don't get paid. This is a wealth building opportunity. And if you'll position it that way through teaching people how they actually can become a multimillionaire doing this, doing the work will be worth it. See, one of the reasons people don't do what we ask them to do, and they don't even do what they tell you they're going to do, is what's going on for them is they don't believe it's worth it. They don't believe it. They don't see it. They don't understand it. But if I could prove to you that if you work with me for a couple of, like 3 or 4 years, give me $1,000, give me 10 or 15 hours a week, if I could prove to you that 4 years from now you'd be a multimillionaire and you could retire, what wouldn't you do for the next 4 years? Well, some things, hopefully. Better question would be, what would you do? Just about anything. If I told you to read for an hour a day, would you read for an hour today to be a multimillionaire 5 years from now? If I told you to come to a meeting once a week, even with some boring people, would you come to a meeting once a week to be a multimillionaire 5 years from now? You need to know this number. So this is just a business, economic, financial equation that exists in the world of finance. This equation. If you have an income that you can demonstrate is residual, let me define residual. You don't have to drive it anymore. You don't have to show up anymore. That doesn't mean you can sabotage it. It doesn't mean that you go away and don't ever blow a little love on it. It just means you don't have to be at every weekly meeting. You don't have to be on any conference call. You don't need to be talking to a person a day. You don't need to be moving the maybes to a yes or a no. You don't need to be answering all the questions. You can just say, I don't know, to every question. Or don't ask me, I'm retired. You can say something like that, and you'll still get paid. That's residual. Residual income. I'll give you an example of residual income. I own a rental house. Own it. No mortgage. The rent is $5,000 a month. Now out of that, I got insurance, I got maintenance fees, I got taxes, I got all that kind of stuff. And let's say I net 4. Probably wouldn't. And I certainly can't answer the phone to every question and say, how's the hot water or heater work? I don't know. I'm retired, don't ask me. But you get the point. If I own a rental home that's paying me $5,000 a month, $4,000 a month in net rents, it's worth $1 million. If you have $1 million in some kind of dividend producing, income producing, interest bearing investment account, you got at least $1 million. If you have money in a bank account, like a savings account at the bank, where you're probably getting like 1.5%, you got to have about $4 million in the bank to get $5,000 a month. So one of the ways that you equate what an asset is worth, like what someone will pay, if you can prove that that house, or if you can prove a business that you don't have to show up to is paying you $5,000 a month every month, you can sell that business for $1 million in most traditional finance environments. Now you can't do it in network marketing. You can't sell a business that pays you $5,000 a month for $1 million because everybody figures out really quick, wow, I can build one of my own really quick. Why would I pay you $1 million for it? But it is worth that to you as an asset, because when you are worth, just project in the future, when you're worth $2 or $3 million, where's that money going to be? It's going to be in real estate or assets. And you're going to have a couple of $1 million in some kind of asset to pay you $5,000 or $10,000 a month. Your network marketing business is an asset worth 200 times the monthly income. That's the equation. How do we know it's residual? A huge piece of the 4-year career. 4th generation leaders. This is a slide in the book, The 4-Year Career. When you get committed to that, when you believe in that, when you turn that from a probability, a possibility, to a probability, when then you crank it to the next level, where for you it's an inevitability, you will get 4 people, and it won't take you 4 months. And when you get 4 people who are doing it, that's how you get 16. You get 16 because the 4 that you get doing it are just like you. And they make the same commitment. When they understand the 4-year career, they make the same commitment. They see it in the same way. They understand, I can get 4 people to do this, and they actually go do it. That's how you get 16. How do you get 64? The exact same way. And you don't even necessarily have to touch or even know the 64 people. How do you get them? The 16 get them. How do you get 256? From the 64. Does that feel overwhelming to you? Well, yeah, it could. But guess what? You don't have to touch those 256 people. You don't have to train them. You don't have to babysit them. You're not the one moving them from maybe to yes or no. One of the 64 is. Now, are you on the webinar? Are you on the conference call? Do you attend some of the meetings? Of course. But that's an upper leadership position. It's not overwhelming. So let's walk through the math of the 4-year career. Using 200 a month in sales. I use that number. You use this for your own self-confidence. I use 200 a month because in most companies, that's the most they're ever going to get per distributor. They're going to get 100 from the distributor because the distributor has to pay that much to be active. And hopefully, they'll use $100 worth of product, whether they like it that much or not. And on average, they do well to get 1 customer. So if I'm using 100, all I need to do is get 1 other person using 100. They don't even have to be a retail customer. They could just be, you know, somebody like that I sponsored that quit the business and now they're just using the product. That's where you get 200. And the number could be 400. The number could be 600. The number could be 1,000, depending on how good your product is. So 200 times 340 people. $68,000. 340 people with 200 sales, total monthly sales. If you earn just 7% on the monthly sales, that's $4,760 a month. If we could prove the income was residual, what's that distributor income worth? $4,700 a month. What's it worth? Just under $1 million. Here's how you prove it's residual. So the first question we've already gone over. Let's remind ourselves, these 340 people, are these people who got in just for the product? No, those people are not even in this diagram. Are those 340 people who got in to build a business and then figured out in the first 3 or 4 or 5 months it wasn't for them and they quit being a distributor, but maybe they stayed on the product. Maybe they quit entirely. Is it one of those people? Is it one of the people that shows up to a meeting every 3 months with a false start? Is it one of the people that recruits somebody every other month, whenever they feel like it? No. Who are the 340 people? They're leaders. I mean, think about it. If you got somebody who's actually doing it, aren't they a leader? They're leaders. This is a leadership business. This is all about leadership. You want to become a multimillionaire in this business, you got to understand this business model. You have to take on the leadership role of teaching people, leading people, motivating people to pursue building wealth through this business model. Here's the secret why it's residual income. So just imagine this is 4 years from now, and this is your business, and you're making about $5,000 a month, even if you don't work it. If you studied your genealogy and your genealogy looked like this, and you're making $4,700 a month, what percentage of the $4,700 a month comes from these people? The first 4 you sponsored? None. What percentage comes from your second generation? Insignificant. What percentage comes from your third generation? About a fourth of it. Where's your money coming from? 256 people. Trick question. How many people have the 256 people in this diagram sponsored each that are doing it? How many each have they sponsored? Write your answer on your paper. How many of you know for a fact, based on the diagram, the answer is 0? If you think the 256 people have each sponsored 4 who are doing it, my question to you is, where are they in your $1 million asset? Where are they in this diagram? They're not in it. So remember, now let's just visualize, I'm one of the 256 people in your business. I'm 4th generation to you. I live in, the Quad Cities, Iowa. I've never even met you. I'm one of the ones who are doing it. I'm not a maybe. I'm not iffy and spiffy. I'm doing it. What am I doing? I'm using the products, I'm recommending the products, but what's the most important thing that defines me as a leader in your business that's doing it? I'm inviting people to look at the entire business. I have declared I'm going to get my 4. I could get 4 and I would get 4. Am I going to get 4? What happens to your business as the 256 gets 4? It quadruples. So that would be 1,024 at the 5th level, and your income quadruples. Now, can I take you back to the definition of residual income? But I told you the definition of residual income was income that you can count on. Is the definition of residual income income that you can count on going up 400% every 3 or 4 years? Is that the definition of residual income? Can you stay with me that the definition of residual income is even if you never made ever made more than $4,700 a month, that $4,700 is residual and it's worth $1 million? The answer to the question, how do I know it'll be residual, is that's actually with the right products in the right company, not the right question. The whole thing would have to fall flat on its face for your income to be residual. How I know it's residual is it's going to have a strong desire, a strong commitment, a strong ambition. It's going to have 256 leaders chomping at the bit to get their 4 and quadruple it. That's how I know it's residual.
So, in other words, the takeaway here is the key is teaching your recruits how to recruit for. It's all about, as long as we can instill this idea, the root of what the core, like how you make money in this company, as long as we can do our jobs as leaders and as recruiters, making each one of those people understand it, it never ends. it just keeps going. Those people will, you know, keep going, keep going, keep going. So my takeaway from this is we need each one of us, you know, and like he said, 4 is just the number he's using. 4 would get you to team leader, which is why this is the race to team leader. Yes, you just need 3 across the top line, and each one of them need 2. But can you imagine if 4 people got 4 people, got 4 people, got 4 people, and then you, after you've built that up, went and got yourself 4 more people? It only takes 8 across your top to get to the top of Pillar Street. If you can do it once and do it again, and you have 8 number 10s across your top, you know, and again, that might take you 30 people to recruit to get to that. But if you can find the magic 8 that you can teach this to, and they understand it, and then they find their magic 4 and then their magic 8 to teach it and understand it, that's our job as leaders in this company. That was a light bulb moment for me, you guys. Like, whew, I've been doing this all wrong. This whole past 3 years that I've been here, I think at some level I understood it, but I didn't realize until this how important it is to make others understand it. And we're gonna, as the weeks go on, this is all gonna come full circle as to how we talk to people so that they understand this. But this tonight was so important for you guys to, like he said, we have to understand it. With every fiber of our being, we have to understand how this works so that we believe in it. So when we are talking to people about it, they understand it and they believe it too. And that is how you're gonna find your 4s. And I remember back when I first started, one of the leaders at like the first conference I went to, I wish I could even remember who it was. It might have been, I just don't even know. But she said, you always have to lead with the opportunity. Always lead with the opportunity first. Always. Like, my mistake was I was going after the sell. Like, here's this. When people ask you what is Color Street, what do we say? Oh, it's 100% nail polish and it doesn't dry. It goes on dry and it doesn't smudge. No, what we should be saying, what is Color Street? Is a business opportunity. Let me tell you about it. Start with that. If you've lost them at that point, then maybe they should just be a customer. And then if they do want to sell it too, excellent, let them sell. Their contribution to your team will help with your team volume, but maybe they're not your 10, but don't discourage them from selling. But if you want to find your 10s, if you lead with that business opportunity and they latch on to you, they're probably going to be a 10. Because he started this video with saying, the people that want to do this, the people that see the opportunity to make money, they know right away. Like, they didn't even need to listen to these videos. They don't even need to listen to me say it. Like, they know it in their core, but it doesn't mean that the people that signed on after are lost cause. If you signed up to be in this team race to team leader, you knew somewhere inside you, you already kind of knew the opportunity here, but Richard is just kind of putting it out there in front of us in black and white. So you guys anybody want to talk about what they took away from this tonight?
I just gotta say, I'm watching it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
I watched it 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, I took a lot from it. I had some questions, and I think if I watch it again, I'll get it. And I'm like, I'm excited that there's a new year coming because, you know, New Year's, you always have New Year resolution. You feel pumped up after the holidays. I'm excited that you're doing this now and we're seeing some of this stuff because I'm just sitting here listening. I was just getting ideas in my head of people and things and maybe how to approach people differently. So, yeah, I'm definitely watching it again, without a doubt.
Yeah, because like towards the end there, I don't know if you guys, but like even me, 3rd time watching it towards the end, I'm like, he's losing me. Like, what's he going with this? But the more you watch it, those little pistons start firing in your brain. And then as we go into these next modules that he has, like, it's all going to circle back and you're going to be like, that's why he spent so much time on it. So definitely listen to it again and again. Really try to understand what it is he's saying, because it's so true that he says we have to understand it in our soul. Like, this isn't just like a surface learning. Like, we have to know it and understand it and believe it and then go for it. And here's what I love, guys. I think I told you guys this last week, like he's talking about Young Living, like that's basically his audience. He has helped those girls sort of the top of that business. You guys know we are in the baby steps beginning of Color Street. So don't for 1 second think that you have missed the boat on this opportunity here. Like this is just the beginning. 77 countries, you guys, 77 countries. That is literally billions of people. So like learning this now and understanding this now, and then getting your four, and then once you build your little empire here, then you can start kind of going off on those little side roads and learning how to network with people in Canada, learning how to network with people in Mexico, or wherever we go next, and take a look at my opportunity. I mean, I get so excited just thinking about what's to come for all of us, and I'm so excited just to bring this training to you, and I hope that every single one of you turn into a 10, because you absolutely can. You can, I mean, without a doubt in my mind, I believe every single one of us can do this. I really truly do. You know, and when he talks about, this was the other thing I loved, when he talked about his car salesman friend, he can make $25,000 a month selling cars. But the second he takes a vacation, the second he walks away from that job, that income stops. With Color Street, you could spend 4 or 5 years doing that. And if you want to take off for 3 weeks to Aruba and not even have Wi-Fi, that's fine. Sell your $300 BQ before you go, and you are bonus qualified, and you are still going to get a paycheck at the end of the month for all the work you've done these past 3 years, collecting your commissions from your team. It's a job that you can actually step away from, and that is what residual income is. And I think that's what we have to focus on when we are talking to people about the opportunity. I think right now, like he said, people have blinders on. All they're seeing is, oh, I gotta sell this to just the people that I know. I have to sell this, you know, sell. But if we get into their brain that all they really have to do is offer the opportunity, you guys know the product kind of sells itself. I hate to say that because it doesn't. We do work. We do put effort into our VIPs, and we do work. It doesn't actually sell itself, but you guys know selling $300 a month once you get your business off the ground, it's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. I mean, in the beginning when people were learning, you know, but once you get your core people, the business, that part of your business runs itself. $300. Anything you sell above that, icing on the cake. But if you are here to build an empire, I highly suggest you sell your 300 and then put all your thoughts and mind power into recruiting. Of course, I want you to sell more than 300 because you guys will make more money that way. But for now, if you had to choose, I'm telling you, put your brain power into recruiting. BQ and then recruit, because that's where the money is. I mean, it's just the plain and simple fact of it. When he showed that diagram, I didn't really understand that until I had a 4th generation myself. And when I look into my commissions in my back office, my top line, my girls like at the top, I might make, if I'm lucky every month, I might make $190 off of those girls. That's it. My biggest chunk of money when I hit executive director was on my 4th generation. It was a couple $1,000s. Those 4th generation girls, half of them I've never met in person. I mean, I know everyone's name because I see you guys in my team page, but like most of those girls, I've never met them. I don't even know where they live unless I look and see what their address is. So like when we're talking to people about the opportunity, they're like, I don't know that many people. You just have to know 4 people. You just have to know 4 people. The rest kind of takes care of it. And I think it's our job to make people see that and understand that. And once we can hone in on that skill and you can perfect getting people to see that, I think we can take off. I do. I really, really do. That's what my takeaway is. So Anybody else?
Mine is just the mindset, like just completely changing my mindset of like what we talked about last week and now this week, and just making it where, like you said, what is Color Street? Oh, it's an opportunity. Like it's not just me selling something, but that whole mindset shift. I feel like that's been happening the past few weeks for me. It's gonna be helpful, you know?
Yeah. I love, yeah, like it's an opportunity. If people are like, what's Color Street? It's my retirement plan. Let me tell you about it, and just go right into that. I mean, I posted in Mr. Park's thing, like my husband, he's a perfect example of that. He's not even a stylist. He's just my husband who wears the nail polish. He's a mechanic. He is in the manliest job ever with his Made in Milan nail polish. And those guys bust his balls all day long. They laugh and make fun of him. And he's like, laugh all you want. He's like, I'm not going to be here in 10 years. We'll keep on laughing, you know, like he sees the opportunity in it. And so our job is to kind of create raving fans just like that. Like people that really truly understand the opportunity in it. It's not just about the nail polish. It's about the business of it. And maybe a way to talk to people is, you know, hey, like I always say it's so much more than just nail polish. Okay, you might be like, yeah, this nail polish is revolutionary and it's awesome, it's cool, but let me tell you why I'm doing it. I have a plan. Do you want to hear about it? Do you want to let me add you to our opportunity group? You can take a look at it if you want. If you want, like that, we can say that to people. I think just us not saying that to people is holding us back from so much potential. Like so much potential. I can't tell you, it makes me sick to my stomach in this town alone, how many people I've known for years that signed up to sell Color Street under a completely other team. It's not even in my generation whatsoever. All because I didn't offer, I never thought that they would be the ones that would say yes, but somebody else did. Just because I didn't say, hey, you want to just come and take a look? Maybe if I would have done that, they eventually would have signed up under me, but nope, they went and signed up under somebody else. It's just really that simple. Come and take a look at it, like he says. Which is why I, just so you guys know what I kind of have going on in my brain is I really am working towards, now that I'm like retired from my wedding photography, I'm kind of putting my efforts into creating a better opportunity group. I want to make it so easy for you guys that it's literally just a matter of going into that group and adding the person that you asked to take the opportunity, tagging them in the video, and then following up with them in a couple of days and say, hey, did you get a chance to watch that video I tagged you in? I want to make it that simple for you guys. Like I really do. Or like I said, even if you don't want to use my opportunity group, I want to be able to at least create the information that you can go make your own video and your own page and start adding and tagging people. But I really think it's that simple. It's that simple. It's just creating good, solid information that's going to make people understand and see what we see and asking them to look at it. And then if you've asked a 10, they're going to see that. They're going to see it right away. If you've asked a 10, it's not even going to take any persuading. Yeah, you might get some girls that are reluctant and you might have to say, oh, I'll just sign up. And she might be one of those girls that maybe BQ every other month. Listen, I love those girls. We have tons of those girls on this team. I am grateful for them because that little bit of sales that they make each month, even if they don't BQ, it still adds to our team volume. I still benefit from that. So even if you get somebody who's not a 10, you're still going to benefit from her. And like Richard said in the beginning of this, she's still a prospect. She signed up, she's a distributor now, but you still have to treat her as a prospect until she can understand what we now understand. And then maybe when she does, she can turn into a 10. So I don't ever want you to discount anybody, but the more people you ask, and I think if you present it the right way, you're going to attention grab those 10s right off the bat where they already see it. Like I was a 10. The second I saw Kimberly open up her little Color Street box, her little live on Facebook, the second I saw it, I mean, I signed up before I was like, done. I saw it. I was a 10. I knew it was going to be amazing. Those are the people we want to find. And don't think, I mean, so many people don't even know what Color Street is. I mean, I know that we think they do, and here's why we think they do. because we're all friends with each other on Facebook, and sometimes it feels like our entire Facebook feed is filled with nothing but Color Street. Well, that's because we're in the circle. We're in the echo chamber. We're friends with other stylists. So it makes our brains think that everybody we know already knows about Color Street. Absolutely not true. There are so many people. I mentioned Color Street too, and they're like, what? So opportunities are endless.
Nicole, I remember before the party where I met you at the party that my niece had, I was already friends with you on Facebook, I think, because of photography. And I remember seeing your little Color Street, like you used to have the little picture of them on there. And I didn't know what it was. I just remember I always just scrolled on by too. You don't realize how many people aren't really looking at that stuff. But I always use that example that I was one of those people that I'm like, now I wish I would have paid attention sooner and realized what you were doing way back in the beginning. And I did. I just kept scrolling by and ignored it too. And then I was to the point where the first time I actually tried it and saw what it was, I was like, message you every 3 minutes until you got back to me, because I'm like, what the heck is this? I need to sign up. So many people don't, and I'm always amazed at how many people don't know what it is.
And I see how, like I said, I see how girls get discouraged because they're thinking, oh, everybody I know already knows, because they're just looking at their post. We live in this, especially now during this pandemic, half of us don't even get out of our house. So our connection to the outside world is our Facebook wall. And sure, everybody on Facebook that we're friends with, because we're friends with other girls from our team. We're friends with the people we've already told about Color Street. It feels like everybody already knows about it, but they don't. They absolutely don't. And that's why parties are so important, because parties allow us to reach out to those people that we don't know. You might know somebody, but she knows 50 people that you've never met. And that's why parties are so important. And that's why when you are having the parties, you need to be, if a name pops up on that guest list that you don't know and you've never met this girl, make her your best friend. Because those are the people you need to start concentrating on, are the people that are hearing about it for the first time. Those are the people you want to invite into the opportunity. Because if she doesn't know about it, what does that mean? Probably everybody in her network doesn't know about it either, because no one's told her about it. So she's your best friend. So that's why we always say parties, because they're going to help you branch out. But and lead with the opportunity. And I have, all these other modules that we're going to continue listening on that are just full of good stuff. But in these, we have a whole week between now and the next one. Listen to this one over and over. Just fast forward past me, go straight to him, and listen to that little 30 minutes over and over until it is embedded in your brain, till you can give the speech yourself, because that's kind of the goal. We want to be able to talk to people like him in our own words, so that they understand it using our stories. Like he talks about your war chest of stories. We talked about that on week 1. I asked you guys just write them down, because those are going to be your assets when you go forward. So. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. What time is it? Oh gosh. Okay. I went over my hour. All right, guys. Thank you so much on joining me on Christmas Eve of all the days of the year. You guys showed up. All 3 of you are 10s. No doubt in my mind. So, okay. And then we'll just, we'll come back together next Wednesday and go rave about this in the group for me. Encourage everybody to come listen to it, because it's golden.
I was going to tell you that, you need to tell the people that even the ones that are already team leaders and directors and above, they need to watch this and pay attention to it, because everybody can benefit, not just those of us that are trying to make that level.
And the more of us that understand it, the more of us can start bouncing ideas. So even if there's girls on my team that aren't directly to your line, you're going to benefit from them watching it, because now they're going to get ideas and they're going to share those into the group, and then you can take those ideas. It's a mastermind. I talked about that mastermind in the beginning. So I need you guys to be my messengers, because I make posts and I say until I'm blue in the face that this stuff is good. But most of them just ignore me. You see, we have 346 girls in our team, and there's 10 of you that and comment on my posts. So we need to kind of build, because I don't know if they think I'm lying or they just don't care, but this is good, right? This is good.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. They need to see it. I feel like I'm confident in saying over these last 3 years, this training that I'm bringing to you guys over these next few weeks is by far the best. I'm not joking when I say it. So go rave about it in the group.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really
you.
appreciate it.
I'm excited to do it. Thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.